Hello, Pisces. Welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. This week, Pisces, we're going pretty deep. We're looking at the topic of this reading is your spiritual success and activation. So I'm going to ask 4 key questions in this reading for you this week, Pisces. We're going to ask the area of your life that you are most disheartened about or that you feel the most blocked in. And then we're going to ask, how does this block shape the course of your life? And then what can you activate in your life right now? Like, what can you actively do in your life right now? And then how can you move away from your worries? So those are the 4 big questions that we're going to ask this week. And I know last week I said we're going all wild and unknown. We're going even bigger, wild and unknown. I brought out the wild and unknown archetype deck from Kim Crayons. And I do have the Oracle. Why am I feeling like, did you guys get this? The Stingray last week. I swear you did. I'm trying to remember. I mean, I did 12. But for some reason, I'm recalling that you guys had the Stingray. Isn't that interesting? And the tarot. So, Pisces. Oh, that dog. He's already been barking 3 times today. I got a feeling I'm just going to have to go talk to those people. You hear him? They just put him out all the time and he's barking. I don't agree with that. I love animals, but I think you have to be a responsible animal owner. And not everybody wants to do that all the time. So Pisces, let's get started. We're going to go deep here. These messages are kind of deep. They go really deep with Aquarius. I thought, wow, this is really profound. So let's take a look at this. This is kind of inspired by a post I put in my community section asking if you could ask the universe anything, what would it be? And this is kind of a combination of like a few different answers or different responses to that question. So Pisces. Spiritual success and activation for you. All right, area of your life you are disheartened about or feel the most blocked in. Oh, the fault line. Ooh. That's an interesting energy. The fault line is kind of like, actually, if I remember from the book, it's sort of like that feeling of walking along ice and you can feel the cracks starting to form. You're too far from the shore this way to go back. And it's like you're almost like walking on eggshells. So there's something about walking on eggshells. Maybe you feel like you need to play small in some areas of your life, or you have to be particularly careful with what you say or how you say it around someone in your life. The other energy that I get, message I get with this card, the fault line, is it also reminds me of, like, you know, let's say you are just walking somewhere and all of a sudden a crack starts to form in the earth and these tectonic plates have started to cause like a separation in the earth, and you almost have a choice, like, oh, I can jump on this side, I can jump on that side. Oh, if I don't make a decision, I'm caught in the middle, I'm going to fall down into the gap. Like, there's kind of the sense too of the past and the present, or there's this way I could go or that way I can go in my life. Which one do I choose? And almost being caught between choosing something significant, making some sort of significant decision in your life. And by making that decision, you know you're going on this path, because once you take like this fault, this gap is produced and you will never go down that. You won't have that option almost. It is a pretty a profound space to be in. Like, it's a profound area of your life to feel blocked in or disheartened about, where it is, I guess that disheartened feeling would be, if I take this, I go in this direction, I know that this option is close to me. If I go in this direction, I know that that option is close to me. It's a pretty big thing. And there's the sense of walking on eggshells. It's almost like you're trying to proceed, like maybe you know this is going to happen. You're walking towards some sort of point in time where you're going to have to make some sort of a choice. You're going to have to get off the fence on something. You're going to have a stand, have a stance on something. And then walking like along this ice, hoping that this fault line, this fissure doesn't open up. And you've got to make the choice. Which side of the ice sheet are you going to be on? Or are you going to go down the middle? I don't think you would make that choice because that's not a good choice. Instinctively, I think you're going to jump on one side or the other. Kind of also has the feeling of you almost don't know how to make the choice until you're in the situation. You can't rationalize it. You can't say, oh, okay, if I was walking along and this crack formed and the earth started to split in half, I have half my family on this side and half on that side, or have my friend group on this side, or what would I do? You don't know. How does this block shape the course of your life? It seems pretty profound. Go with a vessel. You feel vulnerable. You feel vulnerable with the vessel? It'd be interesting to see how that, oh my gosh, isn't this interesting? Okay, just give me a second here. The Roman numerals, you have XLIX, LXIX. You have all the same letters in these Roman numerals. You have 2 X's, 1 I, and 1 L in both of these. That's kind of profound, no? That's really interesting. It feels like a really profound point in time in your soul's journey. Now, I do feel like, okay, part of what is happening in this block for some of you is you do feel like, I'm kind of getting the energy of, it's in one of these cards too, it's a description, it might even be in these ones. There's a point in time where if you think about how far you might feel from source in your journey, in your life, like tapping into source to tell you what choice you should make, and there's something here. So tapping into source to help you make a decision is how I would kind of steer this right now, because that's what this feels like when you're standing on the fault line. Where are you going to end up in this? And we can find points in our journey where we don't have a lot of direction given to us. There aren't a lot of signs and synchronicities. There isn't a path that just unfolds in front of us. Oh, there we go. I knew something would open up for me. You know, it feels like there isn't that happening, because this person feels so far away, and there's nothing but darkness between them and the sun, which is sort of like even your self-actualization, source, connection to spirit, and feeling vulnerable and naked in this, and having to be the only one that can really fill this cup, this vessel that is you. So where I was going with this is there's a really interesting explanation about this. I think it's in this deck, one of these cards. It'd be funny if it was this one, but where if you think about the blood that flows from your heart, like a droplet of blood, so a droplet, a molecule, let's say a droplet of blood within your circulatory system. Probably the furthest point that droplet of blood could end up would be at the tip of your big toe, right? Like that's a pretty long distance to cover. And when that droplet of blood leaves the heart, it's on a journey here. It's moving further and further away from its source, you know, what provides it the oxygen, what provides it, I don't know. I'm not going to get scientific on it because I'll probably miss a lot of things. But it is the source, and it is the beat. That rhythm of life that it came from. But it has a journey here that it must go on, because there's things that it must influence. It must oxygenate. But then when it gets to that furthest point, the tip of the toe, and then it's coming back, that tip of the toe is the point where it feels so disconnected from source. The rhythm of the heart may almost be undetectable at that point. If that droplet of blood could have ears, or could feel, or could hear, It is so far from that source, but it is also at the point now where it is coming back to source, right? Now it journeys back to that heart. And as it's coming closer, so I feel almost like you are at the point, you're at the tip of the toe. You're at the tip of that big toe, and you don't know where you're going, but you are coming back to source. But you feel how it affects, how it shapes the course of your life. You're experiencing a point in time where you will feel more disconnected from your spirituality than you ever have at any other time. And it's almost like this is a point in my life where I need my spirituality to be present, where I need my spirituality to give me an answer, to help guide me. So, what can you activate in your life right now? Wow, the mirror. It's really intriguing because the moon is there, A, and then B, there's this, it looks like a mirror, right? But it's floating in space. And I would just think to myself, it's almost like a floating monolith or a floating vessel in space. Wow. Now it's kind of profound because it feels like if you are so far from the sun, what reflects the sun's light to us but the moon? And to me, I always see the moon as like the sun is the embodiment of life here. Without the sun, there would be nothing. And we are all born, every molecule of us and everything in our world came from a star, right? We're all stardust, literally all stardust. So we ourselves are part of this source. But yet there's something about, I do want to say, connecting to your intuition in a way that you've never done it before. So it feels like you're being almost forced to find a part in yourself that you would never have reached for if you hadn't been pushed to this point. But I love that this is a mirror here because to me, it is reflecting the source. You can find a way to find source again. You can find a way to achieve your answer. And with the moon, it does have something to do with your intuition, but isn't it unusual because Pisces is one of the most intuitive signs in the zodiac. Really, it's about looking within. The answer is found within because I feel like this vessel is you, but feeling naked and vulnerable and alone in this. This mirror, it's just waiting to reflect. Oh, wait a second. The mirror sits between you and the moon. Okay, if the mirror is sitting between you and the moon, the reflection of the moon will not reach you. The only reflection that you will see is yourself. What can you activate in your life right now but it's you? You are what you can activate in your life right now. Nothing else but you. We got more cards to pull. We'll see where this goes. How can you move away from your worries? Bro, oh my God, this is mind-blowing. The seed. Oh, look at that card. It just like messes with my brain visually. Mess with your brain. Feels like the seed is surrounded by eternity with these never-ending rings around it. And it is kind of mind-blowing. So whatever you're struggling with, there is on some level here the message of trying to see that struggle or that difficult decision or choice as like, in one way too, like very tiny compared to the journey of your soul, the enormity of that. I don't know why I'm being so drawn to these. Now you have LXVI. And here you had LXVIII. It's just looking at the I, looking at the self. Looking at yourself and nothing else is how to move away from your worries. Anima Mundi. This is a really powerful card. I am going to pause at some point in this video once I have all the cards out. I'm going to take some time and look in here as well. One of the things I said in the Aquarius reading, I've even pulled out the Oracle book because I felt like I've had these cards for so long that I feel like I may have even forgotten some of the things that I used to know. So I just thought that was so profound. I'm going to look in the book again. But instead of you sitting here and watching me for 10 minutes do that, I'll just do like a cut in the editing. Oh, there's something about this card, this underline. It's a really powerful energy. There's so much in it. There's so many different planetary energies showing up in this. The moon, Neptune. There's even images from other cards showing up on here. It's like so much, but it's actually just one tiny seed. What sits inside one seed is all the information for the universe, and you are that. Let's see what the Oracle goes with these archetypes. Which oracles will go with each one of these archetypes for Pisces? And the spiritual success and activation. Reading. All right. Area of your life you are disheartened about or feel the most blocked in. The stingray. Okay, there's something here about a self-actualization that you're hesitant on. Oh my gosh, the stingray is showing up again. Lighten up those chakras, utilizing those chakras, but it goes way beyond that for me. This really has something to do with confidence. Confidence, even perhaps that you're making the right decision. You can't make a wrong decision here. I don't feel like you can. But I don't know. I almost feel like I can't even grasp at something from my own life that is showing up in here to help me help you with this. Let's keep going. How does this block shape the course of your life? The vessel. You're feeling disconnected. The buffalo. The rumblings of change. And you feel vulnerable in it. You don't feel protected in some level of change that is either happening around you or you anticipate it happening. I get this sense of anticipating it happening, like an ending up on one side of this crack. To stay grounded. It's teaching you to stay grounded. In great change, it is teaching you a level of a grounding practice here. That too, depending on like how Piscean you are, I mean, you might have a lot of earth in your chart already, so being grounded even as a Pisces might not be difficult, but some Pisces also, they could have a lot of planets just in this 12th house as well. Or it could be something that's debilitated in your chart. So, but this is helping you find, like really ground yourself. When you feel disconnected from the universal source, to find that universal source within the seed that is you, a tiny seed within you. and to know that you are always connected. Even if you end up on another side of this fault line, you're still connected. What you can activate in your life right now, which feels like you, because the only thing that you're going to see if you try to look at the moon and you try to look at your intuition is you. Ooh. Oh, the cheetah, look at, you have the repeat swirling. Isn't that crazy? There's something within you to be born. There's something that you need to birth in yourself. But maybe you question it or you're not sure about it because you're not getting the intuitive yes or no that you would typically get in life. Activate cheetah. Your burning desire. This is fire energy. Your burning, burning desire here. Activate yourself. Look at the movement. Move. Do it. Go. Don't hesitate. Cause a change. Make that change. Allow that change to help ground you. The seed. The rabbit. How you can move away from your worries. It's interesting that it's to what? See, this is both earth energy, the buffalo and the rabbit. And the buffalo to me is like feeling the rumblings of change coming. It is like a tower moment. It's like this fault cracking open. To anticipate it, not to run away from it. Even though, I mean, I just feel like the rabbit is like, it's a nervous creature. It's like kind of at the bottom of the predatory chain. So the food chain, it's cautious. Even if you feel cautious and nervous about it, anticipate what this change is for you. Wow, you have the moth and the butterfly. Ooh, see, that's interesting because the butterfly I would see as a creature of the sun, of the daylight, and the moth a creature of the night. And you have both the sun and the moon showing up here for you. All right, let's pull out a tarot card. Area of your life you feel disheartened about or feel most blocked in. The fault line and the stingray. The spider, or the Eight of Pentacles, the spider. Something about your work. Or something about, let me pull everything out. How you put, actually this card, I feel like this card appeared in the same spot. For Aquarius, this Eight of Pentacles. Okay, how this is shaping the course of your life. The Father of Pentacles, definitely bringing you down into some very grounded energy. It's taking your head out of the clouds. I'll tell you that. It's taking your head out of the clouds. There's no time for anything but being aware of reality. Being aware of reality is the only way through this. That's why there's a block here intuitively, perhaps. Okay, what you can what can you activate, right? We're talking about you. Oh, Jesus, the devil. All the ways that you've told yourself you can't do something, move beyond that. All the ways that others have told you that you can't do something, move beyond that. All the ways that you've ever held yourself back, move beyond that. All the ways that you've ever felt trapped, run right past that. Also has a feeling too, like with the cheetah and fire, like just going for what you want, because this mirror is reflecting you. You can't see the moon. How can you move away from your worries? You have the seed and the rabbit and temperance. Expect something here. Maybe you feel like you've been standing over a crack for a long time and waiting for some sort of significant change as well. They're definitely, you are part of your equation here in a big way. Look at this, the Hanged Man, the Eight of Cups, and the Sun, and the Mother of Wands. The Hanged Man, the Eight of Cups, the Sun, and the Mother of Wands. It's almost like your own, okay, because these are kind of two very Piscean energies, I would say. Although I think, no, maybe it is Pisces, because I think the Five of Cups is Scorpio. So I think the Eight of Cups probably would, yes. Yes, it would be, because the Ten of Cups is Mars and Pisces. So there's three that signify, I think, one for each, one tarot card in the minor arcana for each decan. So is this the first decan of Pisces, the Eight of Cups? And I'm not sure what planetary energy that represents. And then the Nine of Cups would be the second decan, and then the Ten of Cups is the third decan of Pisces. So these are two very Piscean energies, the Hanged Man and the Eight of Cups. So being disconnected, doing that to somehow even like get a better understanding of everything. But it's almost like when you do that, you actually pull yourself away from your strongest desires. Your strongest desires here. Because you might be reflecting, you might be trying to look at it in a very spiritual way. You might be trying to overanalyze it. You might be trying to over-spiritualize it. My arm becomes so itchy. It's weird. It's odd. Yeah, give me a second here. Because I want to really go into this now, and I think I'm going to go into the books. Because it's just like, as I get it, as I'm pulling it, and now I want to go deep. So we're going to do a quick edit, and I'll be right back. Okay, Pisces, I've gone through the book, and I've sat with the cards for a little bit here. You know, one of the most profound things I would say about what I'm getting from all of the information that's sitting on this table right now is like destiny altered. So you walk a fated path, and on this fated path, there is this fault line, and your destiny is in the process of being altered. And in that process, there is the question of like the vessel of you. Is it whole? Is it broken? Does it need to be repaired? Or does it need to be made new? Like, what is the, oh gosh. And so asking these questions that were coming up sort of like with the book in this card, I guess it was funny. I came in and I heard, who the fuck are you? Like, who are you? It's almost like you're asking this question. And I said, wait a second. Why do I know that? The song that came in last week for you from The Who Are You? Oh my God, this energy is coming through again, but it is like, who the fuck are you? Now that there's big change has happened, or this big change is about to happen in your life, it affects your confidence. It absolutely does. And I think there's something here about, it feels like a funny energy. I wouldn't necessarily peg it on Pisces, but for some reason, it does seem like your identity has something to do with the work that you do. Or maybe you see that, or maybe you've never been confident to do the kind of work that you want to do in your life, but something's going on here where there's a major change in your destiny, and you're standing on the cusp of this. Which way is this going to go for you? And okay, the other thing that was really interesting too, one of the things that I kind of forgotten about the rabbit, so I was glad I went back into the book, is fear. Like the rabbit can be frozen in fear and just see something and stand there and be afraid. And then the seed is really, it talks about how like a rebirth. This card, this Anna Mundi, is sort of described as almost like the world card in the tarot, like it is the end. This is the last card in that deck. I knew there was something really profound about it, and it is the accumulation of everything you've ever been with everything you could ever be, and trying to find yourself within that, and not to be fooled as well by just the reflection that you see of yourself, because there is so much more than that. The reflection is definitely something that comes between us here, that comes between you and your intuition. It comes between you and what you feel like you should do. And the cheetah is really beautiful. I loved it because we're talking about the sun and feeling like you're so far away from source, from the sun, as you're breaking apart, possibly these massive changes, hearing the crack in this fault line start to open up, and that the sun does not shine upon the cheetah, but the sun emanates from within the cheetah. Again, and the seed, the vessel, who you are, who you innately are, cannot be changed. Your paths will change. And it does feel as though you are on a path where a crevice is opening up. Something here. You're caught between the sun and the moon. Is there a song like that? Caught between the sun and the moon. I don't know. Arthur, wasn't there? What is that song? I can hear the singer's voice. I can't pull it in. I think it's just called Arthur. I think it was the main theme to a movie like in the 70s or 80s or something. Arthur. And what was he? Oh, I got the hair in my mouth. What was the storyline of that? Wasn't he like a rich little shit? Something changed his world and his perspective. Was it falling in love? I can't even remember. That's so odd. I mean, it just like caught between the sun, caught between Earth and the moon, caught between, like you're caught between something here. And I'm literally getting that. Arthur. When you get caught between the moon and New York City, the best that you can do, the best that you can do is fall in love. Huh. Arthur, he does what he pleases most of his life. Oh, you know, if I spend enough time, I'm sure we get it. That's so interesting. This energy is so interesting, Pisces. I don't know, maybe you're caught between the moon and New York City. The best thing that you can do is fall in love. That's actually, I feel like the answer. Whether that's with yourself or something outside of you, just fall in love with life. Don't be so worried about it. Don't be so worried about making the right or the wrong decision here. Just fall in love with life. Yeah, that's it. Go for what you want. Because, yeah, when you're caught between the moon and the sun and New York City, hey, what else can you do but fall in love? And it's funny because I do, yeah, that part of the song, Arthur, he does what he pleases. So it's almost like something has changed, and it's so hard to move forward after something has changed you in a profound way. You can't go back to who you were or what you were. Oh, that's what I have, Pisces. That's what I have. I'm going to go do the extended. In the extended, I'm calling it shifting cycles. So I use a few different decks. I'm going to look at the cycle that you were leaving, the cycle that you were entering. And so between like cycle changes, when you do, you have temperance. So calm your fears. That's the other thing I would like to say. Calm your fears. It's not always easy, like starting again from a seed. So there is that sense as well. Maybe feeling like this crack is so deep, your new beginning will be hard to find its way out of the crack. But you will find this. But calm your fears, really calm your fears, whatever that could be. I mean, you do have that here, too, with the devil. But so there's a void space between like a cycle ending and a cycle beginning. So I will ask your focus in the void and then just full on advice for you. So thank you so much, Pisces. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.